Oh, would you look at that? The United States of America Discord server owner just pinged at everyone successfully for the first time in history. Isn't that crazy? Let's see what he's got to say. This is a test, no action needed. Huh, man, this must be what it feels like when I ping my Discord server, asking them what I should get at McDonald's. They're all like, Kwite, we know you can't leave the box to go and buy fast food. Quit fronting. Hi again, guys, and more specifically to my fellow Americans, because you guys are the ones who will be able to directly relate to me with this. But before we get into that, you may have noticed that my hoodie's a little wet. I don't actually know if that's on camera, so I might not even have had to say that. But basically, in the last video where I ate yogurt and it dripped all over the place, I got some on the hoodie. There are yogurt stains on my person, or if you ask select people in my friend group, specifically ones named Tang, they will tell you I creamed myself. Whatever you want to call it, buddy. But President Trump just had the first ever use of the presidential alert system tested today, and it was completely unblockable. If you're in the US, you got the message, don't fucking lie. The only thing that seems to have changed between certain people is the message that they got on their alert. Like, it seems like me and most others got a message saying that this was just a test of the presidential alert system and that no action was needed, but others had different results. Oops, I shitted and farted and camed. Well, the president said it, not me. This was the message that a comrade of mine, It's Hoover, got on his presidential alert. And surprisingly, he got a follow-up text message directly from Donald saying that the message was meant for someone else. Okay, Donald, likely story. Just like those nukes that Japan got slapped with were meant for someone else. We get it. Apparently, President Trump did find a way to get a message forcefully sent to a couple foreigners as well, because Extreme Blitz, the mastermind behind such videos on my channel as Spider-Man memes and nothing else because I don't take orders from ducks, got a message from the presidential alert system. Which wouldn't be too weird if it weren't for the fact that this duck in particular, and come to think of it, all Twitter meme ducks it seems are foreigners. But the message that Extreme Blitz received was one far graver than the one it seems others on mainland America got. The foreboding message reads as follows. D's nuts. It appears Extreme Speed Flare Blitz was not the only foreign avian waterfowl that Donald Trump has set his sights upon to contact directly, as he gave Dolan Dark a shout out on the presidential alert saying Degenerate Duck's signature catchphrase, subscribe to Dolan Dark. Now this particular message that Dolan Dark got may seem like a very innocent thing to some of you guys, but to me it is a very worrying sign and misuse of power of the office of president. As one of the biggest meme curators and meme moguls of the modern day, what Dolan Dark stands to gain from a shout out from the president of the United States is absolutely immeasurable. And if you look at Dolan Dark's reaction to the shout out, it reads as follows. Kinda odd, but thanks for the shout out at Real Donald Trump. Which makes it seem like Dolan Dark himself was surprised by the shout out that Donald Trump had given him. But the thing is, Dolan Dark and Trump have a long history together. One that hints that this shout out isn't as innocent as you might think. If you look up Dolan Dark Donald Trump on YouTube search, you will find several videos that Dolan Dark himself has made about Donald Trump across both of his channels, likely as propaganda to promote support for Trump. The behind-the-scenes connection runs deeper than this as well. By using my many contacts throughout the world, and one source in particular who is very close to Dolan Dark, I found out that the Duck himself was actually the biggest contributor of Dogecoin to Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign, meaning that he likely has sway over or is privy to some of the president's actions before they happen. As we all know, we've seen many of Donald Trump's actions become memes. This presidential alert was only one of which. There was also that Kwite tweet from forever ago. There was Donald showing the press his signature on things he had just signed, to which people massed some random shit onto the document, among others. But all of these are memes which Dolan Dark himself has made meme iterations of. This connection is proof that Dolan Dark used the contributions he made to Donald Trump's campaign as leverage over the president's actions to get him to do things that would later become memes. Or alternatively, Donald Trump tipped Dolan off ahead of time before he did certain things that might become memes, so that Dolan Dark could be among the first to get on these trends. And this presidential alert is only one of these, though it's one where Dolan Dark took his influence one step further, and he gave himself a shout out through Donald Trump to the entire population of America. This is a clear conflict of interest for Donald Trump to be accepting Dogecoin from Dolan Dark, and also to be expected to authentically stimulate the meme economy, and it cannot be allowed to continue for any longer than the 2 years it already has. But anyways, I've talked about ducks for a little bit longer than I'd like to have now, so let's move on to some alternative presidential alerts that people from around the world, but mostly America, probably seem to have been getting. It seems like Donald Trump might be trying to establish a stronger bond and connection with his youngest son, Barron Trump, who, by the way, is 12 and is already about as fucking tall as his dad. But the reason I say Trump might be trying to spend some bonding time with his son is because of Fortnite. Because a couple of people who got a different presidential alert message than the standard report getting ones having to do with Fortnite. And you might say that we don't even know if Barron Trump plays Fortnite, but come on, everybody from ages fetus to 15 plays Fortnite, and he's right in the middle of that demographic. Some of the messages read like this. One of them, the message message that Grande received predictably had to do with building walls, as Trump is so fond of, asking Grande, "How do I build a wall in Fortnite?" much to Grande's surprise. He was a little more direct with others, where he said to them that he and the homies needed a fourth for his squad, and he asked the family if they wanted to join for the pride of their country. Okay guys, if we win, the whole squad's getting presidential medals of honor. But speaking of presidential shoutouts, Donald Trump once again oversteps and misuses the power of his office by endorsing another private entity. This time, it was Keemstar, who he directly sent a message to calling him his favorite gnome, presenting an even bigger conflict of interest. Even if, to a lesser degree, Keemstar, much like Dolan Dark, stands to gain much off of the meme economy. And as you all know, he has been a rather avid supporter of Trump. And also, like we already know, Trump is a large part of the modern day's meme economy. So just like he is with Dolan Dark, it seems like he's doing some backdoor deals with Keemstar where he's giving him insider information on what next actions he might take that could become memes. It is treason of the highest order. It appears that some people got President Trump's Google searches sent to them on accident. Someone responded to my initial tweet of the incident, which read, "America Discord server admins are wild and just at everyone, the entire population," with an image of the text that his presidential alert message had written on it. Why the fuck my pee-pee hard? Wait, this isn't Google? Now there are a number of reasons why Donald Trump might have been Googling this. The first theory is that this is the first time in his life that Donald Trump's pee-pee has become hard. But I find this very unlikely, seeing as he allegedly already has biological children. Many of these alleged children we see in the public eye quite frequently. And the second theory is that it's been so many years since Donald Trump has last gotten his pee-pee to stand up, like the hairs in Spider-Man's arms right before he fucking died, and that when it randomly decided to go up again, he forgot what it was and he had to frantically Google the answer. And personally, this is the option that I find most likely to be true, and I think there's no shame in Mr. Trump trying to find the answers to such questions about his body. It seems like the resident behind butt, video game donkey, also got a personalized message from President Trump, where the commander-in-chief gave his opinion on the food he was presumably eating at the time he sent the message that read, "These Pringles are stale." Now some people, who seem to have gotten the same standard message that I did, took issue with this presidential alert as a concept. Like Philly D, for instance, took offense to the phrasing of "no action being needed," with his criticism of the wording being, "what if actions is wanted?" And I have to say that I agree with him on this front. Freedom isn't all about a need or a requirement to do something. In fact, it's largely about the opposite. The opportunity and choice to do something that you want to do. And the use of the word needed by the presidential alert really just shits on so many of those basic and fundamental American freedoms that this country was founded on. But speaking of the general American populace, it seems many of them were just more surprised by this whole thing than anything. Drew Gooden, for instance, tweeted his surprise with perhaps an underlying emotion of anger at the president. And attached to his tweet was an image of the lock screen of his phone that had the presidential alert on it. But through this screenshot, we also discovered a dark secret about Drew Gooden. What his ears look like from the back. Personally, this is something I could have gone my entire life without knowing and would have died several times happier because of it. But hey, you win some, you lose some, and it seems like I'm losing a lot more than I'm winning recently. Some people weren't angry about the alert itself, but rather that the alert woke them up, which personally I can very much sympathize with. I don't like getting up at any time before 8 p.m. Donald Trump also took the time out of his day to send a happy birthday message to Gizzy Gaza, which was very thoughtful of him. I especially like the 3 American flags at the end of the message. It just adds a very official, presidential, and patriotic feeling touch to it, in my opinion. A good friend of mine, actually, King Anna, was given access to the presidential alert system to make a funny meme out of for one tweet only. And in typical King Anna fashion, she made the joke where you litter a tweet with one type of emoji and say, "Oh fuck, sorry guys, sorry, I'm dropping my blank all over the place." Except to keep with the theme, she sandwiched the emojis between "this is a test" in all caps and "no action needed," which I still have some issues with that wording she chose because I personally expected her to act better with her presidential authority, but what can you do? And lastly, one thing I think really needs to have attention brought to it is that my friend Bunty was threatened by the presidential alert system. But not just any normal, "if you don't give me your lunch money, Bunty, I'm gonna change the name of Canada to North Mexico," but rather he threatened him with a copy pasta. The beginning of the "oh, I'm a fucking Navy SEAL bit" copy pasta to be exact. Which only further strengthens the theory that Trump is in touch with meme culture and well aware of how much of it he controls. Which makes his behind-the-scenes shady collaboration deals with Dolan Dark and Keemstar even more likely to be reality, and quite frankly, just that much more frightening. But looking at this meme unironically for a second, it seems to have gone from everybody's kind of following the standard template of this meme phase to some people are getting kind of meta with the meme and it's becoming a parody of itself in a way kind of phase. This isn't a cycle that all or even most memes go through. I made it up just now and it just kind of fits with this meme very specifically because I saw all the presidential alert memes pop up on my timeline at the same time Philip DeFranco tweeted his screenshot of presidential alert with snarky caption tweet. He's ahead of me in the irony game somehow, despite despite being like a level 100 boomer, so I respect it. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe. If you guys want to support the channel a little more directly, you can click that join button next to the subscribe button. You can donate $5 a month to get things like custom emotes and custom badges. It's totally optional, but it helps the channel out, and either way, it's appreciated. I have a podcast with Wild Spartans and FPS Diesel. We upload 2 new episodes every week on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and we're up on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at Kwite and on Instagram at Kwite.png. Links to both of those in the description below. And lastly, I have a Discord server. Link to that in the description as well if you're interested. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I will see you guys next time.